All right, my name is Shannon Douglas. This is While We Were Asleep. I just got down from a hike up the Squamish Chief. See if we can get a little bit of a visual there up and behind me. That's 2,200 feet of vertical granite. Canada's own Yosemite. Hey, while I was hiking, I was giving some thought to some things I've been thinking about. And when I was in Victoria the other day, I talked a little bit about laws that we've had as human beings for many centuries, in fact, several thousand years, about protecting the reputation and the right to a reputation within a community. So I got Old Testament there, and one of the Old Testament rules is thou shalt not bear false witness. That's to tell lies about somebody, to vilify them, damage their reputation. So why was that a law? I've really been thinking about that a little bit. And there's something I don't know if I've talked about before, and that's the Dunbar number. So the Dunbar number is an idea about the number of relationships that each of us individuals can manage one-to-one. And the Dunbar number is about 150 people. This was postulated in the 90s. So that a community could manage all of its relationships, all of its politics, all of its decision making without having any formal laws. And in a community like that, let's say between 50, 100, 150 maximum number of people in a community, everybody in the community depends on everybody else for their survival. We have an interdependent type of social structure. Okay? We have an interdependent social structure and survival structure in a community like that, where everybody depends on everybody. And if that structure, that social structure breaks down, people die. And because individuals rely on the community, rely on their relationship in that community with other people, it means that if you get cut off from your tribe, from your clan, your family, your life is in danger. You can't survive on your own. Something going. All right, that's. All right, a little goofy. It's better. So you can't survive on your own. So it's a survival or primal threat to have your reputation destroyed, or to find yourself in a position where the community turns against you and rejects you. And so, I don't know if you've ever read a book, Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. Absolutely amazing. I read it several years ago, and it's about the Black Plague sweeping Europe, and about a ton of other things. So well written, and as fiction goes, it's in my top 10. This was, 1300s Gothic architecture, maybe 1400s. And the character in the book becomes an outlaw. He loses his status, and he has to survive in the wilderness, and lives in poverty and can't find food. And so this is an example of what can happen when a person gets cut out of a community structure. It's deeply instinctually terrifying to have your reputation destroyed and to lose your connection with your community. And the woke type, the people who drive cancel culture, whether it's trans activist mobs online who are bullying trans people in authoritarian cult-like ways, or it's the cancel mob on universities that make people scared to speak openly. These are triggering deep and primal instincts in people, and it's very hard for someone to say, I don't care what you think. I don't know if this is a correct quote or not, but I heard it attributed to Nietzsche, that the first key to greatness is to not give a shit what other people think about you. And that's a very, very difficult thing for people to do. So we go through developmental stages, and this particular developmental stage where we're referencing on our peers is something that we go through in our teenage years. And we move from referencing to our family unit and drawing our identity as a reflection of who we are in the family unit. I'm a brother, I'm a sister, I'm a child, I'm a person in relationship to my parents, and perhaps extended family like uncles and aunts, or family community like a church community. We reference on those groups that are much more intimate and closer when we're younger. And then when we move into our teenage years, the psychological development stage that we move into is referenced on our peers. So our identity formation process occurs as an understanding of our relationship to other people. Well, there's several stages of psychological and psychic development beyond this as we get into adulthood. But what's happening right now, lots of people never get out of this phase, or they hang on to traumas and beliefs about reputational self-image, and never really get to the individuation process that Carl Jung talked about. And so for so many people who go through life with a major fear of or concern about what other people think of them, like keeping up with the Joneses, or your reputation at work, or your reputation in the dating pool, it's very, very scary for people to face cancellation, and that's why it's so hard to speak up. How's it going? Pretty awesome walk. I parked in the wrong parking lot. I think that when I used to climb here, that I used to be able to drive in along the road that I'm walking on to get to the Squamish Chief old campsite. And when I started hiking here, you didn't have to pay. It wasn't a provincial site. So people camped here for weeks and weeks who were climbing the Chief and just hung out. But gradually, the province and the parks and I guess Parks BC comes in, and anyway, as it turns out, I have got this big walk. Now watch this. Look at this incredible view. Oh, there's the Chief there. So I was at the top of that peak a couple hours ago. Yeah, so the idea of cancel culture really, really plays on some deep primal survival instincts, and it's very terrifying for people. But there's a secret. There's a secret. You know, your image is only as good as the company you keep if you're referencing on your peers. So if you are worried about what bullies and abusers and ideologues and paranoid personalities and people with persecution complexes think of you, then maybe you need to get some new friends. Maybe you need to find yourself a healthier environment, or maybe you just need to say, I'm not fucking taking this. I reject your assertions. I don't agree with your assertions. You're welcome to your opinion. Call me whatever you want. That's a reflection of you, not a reflection of me. My name is Shannon B. Douglas. This is While We Were Asleep.